So what happens when the good folks at Tubi.com decide to put one of your long-held beliefs to the test? Well, stick around and find out on this express episode of Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat. Hello again, this is Steve the Cat, host of Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat, your place for a fun discussion of horror movies. We're still on summer hiatus, hard at work on new episodes for Season 2, which premieres next month. But I wanted to take a minute and check in to talk about the brand new original film on Tubi.com called Swim. So you may be wondering, what is Swim? Well, it's a brand new movie exclusive to Tubi.com involving former stars of the 90s sitcoms Blossom and Caroline in the City, who are forced to battle to the death against a bloodthirsty shark that has become trapped in their flooded vacation condominium. Yes, folks, it's a shark movie. Now, if you're a returning viewer to our show, you probably know that I love shark movies. We have a saying at Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat: there are no bad shark movies. There are only shark movies that you enjoy and shark movies that you enjoy mocking. Either way, shark movies are always enjoyable. Well, that long-held belief was put to the test earlier today when my love of shark movies collided headfirst with the wrecked train loaded with burning dumpsters called Swim. So, did my long-held belief survive? Let's find out. Swim is the caliber of high-quality movie that is difficult to find outside of the Sci-Fi Channel during Sharknado week. In other words, this has been done a million times already. Sharknado, Bait, Shark Night, Santa Jaws, Ghost Shark, Toxic Shark, Nightmare Shark. There's a pretty well-established formula here, and the folks who made Swim followed it pretty closely. The result, of course, is terrible. I mean terrible. Indescribably awful, which, of course, is exactly what the filmmakers were going for, a movie that's so bad that it's fun to watch, ironically. So the story opens with Charlie from Caroline in the City, who is now a grandfather, on a car trip to a vacation condo with his adult daughter, teenage granddaughter, and teenage grandson. The family arrives at the condo, but Charlie's son-in-law, played by Joey from Blossom, is running late because bad weather has caused him to miss his return flight from a business trip to San Francisco. So Joey rents a car to simply drive to the beach. While Joey is en route, the same storm that grounded his flight descends upon the beach, and the condo is soon flooding. And, of course, a shark gets through a hole in the wall and gets into the basement, as so often happens in real life. As the water level rises, the shark makes its way into other parts of the condominium, threatening the family because, of course, events conspire to prevent the family from evacuating the condo. And, of course, the shark is a remorseless killing machine that attacks everything in sight, because that's how sharks behave in these kinds of films. Can Joey save his family in time? So that's the central conflict of the story. Let's talk about what I thought of the movie. Now, normally when I do these express reviews, I talk about what I liked about the film, then I do another segment where I talk about what I didn't like about the film. That formula kind of goes out the window here, because this movie is god-awful and was intended to be god-awful, so there's no point in sticking to that formula. So let's jump straight into the voluminous list of bonus features that you get with your viewing of the Tubi.com exclusive film, Swim. You get a CGI rainstorm and dry clothes. Yes, the fine folks who made this film, the central event which revolves around a storm, did not rent a rain machine. They just have people running around in very obviously dry clothes and put a little bit of CGI rain in front of them and hope you don't notice. You get the world's most apathetic police force. At one point in this film, Joey encounters a police roadblock who helpfully informs him that you can't get in there, the storm has forced everything to be evacuated. And Joey helpfully tells the policeman, but my family is at a condo on the beach and they didn't say anything about being evacuated when I talked to them an hour ago. And the policeman could not care less, does not call ahead. There's no explanation for why Joey's family was not notified of the evacuation. There's no logical reason as to why the roadblock wasn't there just a few hours before when the family passed through. There's no explanation as to how they failed to notice all the other people evacuating, because you don't see anyone else evacuating. It's just silly. You get an infinitely elastic shark that is able to squeeze through a hole in the wall and conceal itself in an 8x8 room filled with 24 inches of water, yet is large enough to take down a full-grown man. Oh yes, you get the magic shark who can do all of those things. You get watertight interior doors. Yes, naval ships have nothing on the Kryptonian weather stripping used around the basement door in this condominium that is able to keep out tons and tons of seawater. You get Stairmaster Shark, a shark that has mastered those stairs. You get a well-mannered shark that politely knocks on the door once it reaches the top of the stairs. Okay, I'm kidding. The shark doesn't actually politely knock on the door. The shark pounds on the door, trying to knock it down. But don't worry, this 6-ounce piece of IKEA furniture will certainly secure the door. Now, when I looked up the cast on IMDb for this film, I was curious whether the mother had been in any 90s sitcom, since she is kind of a contemporary of age with Joey, and I was wondering if maybe they found some sitcom star that I couldn't remember to play the wife. The actress's name is Jennifer Field. I had not heard of her. I see nothing that I recognize in her IMDb database, despite the fact that she's been acting for quite a while. And if you watch this movie, it's easy to understand why she doesn't have much of an acting resume. Her go-to acting moves are basically channeling the love child of William Shatner and Jenna Maroney from 30 Rock, alternating with what I guess is having a stroke. It is hysterical to watch. Now, Joey Lawrence is barely in the film. I think he spent one day on set so they could give him top billing and attach a name that somebody has actually heard of to this project. And when I say one day, understand, I think that's literally true. As best I can tell, he probably did the water scenes in a pool at the studio in the morning, got dried off, grabbed a bagel off the craft services table, then did the in rental car stuff in the afternoon as he was driving to a relaxing dinner at Applebee's. Blossom grew up to get a PhD in microbiology and become the best thing about the Big Bang Theory. Joey starred in Swim. The makers of this movie don't understand how water works because the water level inside the house frequently is higher than the level outside the house. Physics pet peeve there. You get some grandpa chomping action in this film. You ever gotten a bird trapped inside the house and somebody says, just open a window and let it fly out? Turns out that works with sharks too. Good to know. You get a rainstorm in the middle of the night, and yet Joey Lawrence is still wearing a backwards baseball cap like a douche. I assume that's to conceal something he does not want us to see with his hairline. I don't know. And finally, you get Behold the Mighty Power of My Television Antenna. Yes, Joey Lawrence kills the shark at the end using a television antenna. Now, maybe this being a Tubi.com exclusive, that is some sort of cut the cord commentary. I don't know. Far more likely, it gets to the fact that millennials and people younger than millennials don't actually know what a TV antenna is. Regardless, that's some of the many fun things you have to look forward to as bonus features with the film Swim. So, in summary, Swim is a terrible, awful, no good, very bad shark movie that accomplishes exactly what it set out to achieve, which is to be a terrible, awful, no good, very bad shark movie. So, mission accomplished, Tubi.com. We at Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat salute you. This is not a good film. That's not up for debate, and that's not really the important question. The important question is this: is it entertaining? Well, when it comes to ironic enjoyment of intentionally bad shark movies, this one is, it's as good as any other. You can easily have as much fun with this one as you can with something like Bait or Toxic Shark, but it doesn't descend to the depths of absurdity like Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus or Sharknado, so it's pretty middle of the road. Listen, you're all adults and you know who you are. If you're not the kind of person who gets ironic enjoyment out of watching bad movies, then avoid this film at all costs, because it is god-awful. If, on the other hand, you're the kind of person who enjoys giving a bad movie the Mystery Science Theater 3000 treatment with your friends, This film works about as well as any other similar films, but it doesn't really rise above any of the others. So the bottom line is this. Swim gets 0 paws out of 4 if you're looking for actual competent filmmaking and a good movie. And it gets 2 paws out of 4 if you're in the mood to ironically enjoy a bad shark movie. It works as a vehicle for ironic wisecracking enjoyment, but there are dozens of films out there that work equally well. Well, that wraps up this special Summer Express episode of Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy the show, please check us out on Facebook and give us a like and a share and maybe even subscribe and follow. You can find us on Facebook at Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat. And yes, that's Tales with an AILS. Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat appears exclusively on PBDC TV, your nightly heartbeat of horror. Whether you're interested in horror movies, true crime, weird history, cryptids, or unexplained events, we're sure to have something for you on PBDC TV. Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat is just a small part of the PBDC TV family. There are a lot of great content creators. They all work very hard and put a lot of care and thought into their programming, and it is all free. If you're not familiar with PBDC TV, it's easy to find. We're on the World Wide Web at pbdctv.com, and we're on YouTube at Psycho Bunny DC. We've also got a large presence on Facebook. You can find the mothership at PBDC TV, or you can go directly to dedicated pages for Psycho Bunny Death Cult, Psychomandium 13, Roots Bleed Red, and Cemetery Kids Fright Theater. No matter where your interests might lie, we're sure to have something for you. Just a quick reminder that new episodes of Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat will begin on Monday, September 20th at 10 p.m. Eastern with a live watch party on the Psycho Bunny Death Cult Facebook page. New episodes will premiere every Monday at 10 and will carry you all the way through to the end of the year. And if you miss the live premieres, don't worry. You can always catch a replay on the Psycho Bunny Death Cult Facebook page or the PBDC TV YouTube page. Thank you once again for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Once again, I am Steve the Cat, saying I hope everyone stays safe and has a great week. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
This is Mikey from Out of the Ordinary, and you're watching PBDC TV.
Oh, hi! First thing in the morning, when I'm listening to music and getting a little bit of time for some creepy research, I'm always representing with my PBDC merch. What a better way to have a cup of coffee in the morning.
Don't forget to check out our other cool merch at rootsbleedred.com. That's rootsbleedred.com.
This is Professor Edgar Fluffosaurus from Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat, and when I'm not hosting Monster Chat or knocking down small Japanese cities, I'm watching PBDC TV. Now back to the show.